It has been 22 years since the tragic attacks in New York. How Portage County is commemorating the lost lives from September 11, 2001.
A manhunt for an escaped inmate in Pennsylvania has gone into its 12th day. We'll give you the latest on what authorities are saying and how the community is helping in the search.
The search continues in Morocco for survivors after the deadly earthquake that struck last Friday. We'll have more information regarding the natural disaster later on.
Coco Gauff became the youngest American to win a Grand Slam title since Serena Williams in 1999 after capturing the U.S. Open over the weekend. We have the recap.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Noah Rowe.
And I'm Dom O'Brien. Welcome to your Monday night newscast.
We start tonight with a local commemoration of the 9/11 attack, 22 years after it happened.
Our own Erin Sullivan traveled to Ravenna this weekend and has more information on the commemoration.
That's right, guys. Today marks the 22nd anniversary of 9/11, a day America will never forget. I visited the Ravenna Fire Department's memorial service to pay my respects for the lives lost on September 11th. A bell rang as the Ravenna Fire Department held a moment of silence for those who lost their lives 22 years ago, today on September 11th, 2001.
This is something I pray that it not just be something read in the history book. 22 years ago, all of us remember.
Just last year, Ravenna instilled a new 9/11 memorial that includes a 2-foot steel beam that once was a part of the World Trade Center. People were gathered to hear Lieutenant Mark Chappell honor the victims and first responders lost on 9/11.
And it changed to all lives. The victims' families' lives. Friends, the survivors, the first responders, the rescue workers, the recovery workers. So many volunteers, millions of Americans, and people have responded.
The lieutenant honored those who put their lives on the line September 11th and every day to serve others.
And I look at the officers here, the first responders, what you do and experience, the trauma you experience daily. All of us need just to say thank you.
The ceremony ended with a prayer for peace.
Lieutenant Chappell mentioned that he doesn't want newer generations to just read about this event in a history book. With memorials like this, newer generations can learn why America will never forget September 11th, 2001. In the Franklin Hall studio, I'm Erin Sullivan.
Thank you, Erin. People all across Northeast Ohio took place in memorials remembering those who lost their lives during the 9/11 attacks. In Akron, hundreds turned out for a stair climb at the University of Akron to remember the first responders who lost their lives years ago. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost attended a wreath-laying ceremony in Cleveland at the Soldiers and Sailors Monument.
First Lady Jill Biden and the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin visited the National 9/11 Pentagon Memorial in Arlington, Virginia this morning for the wreath-laying ceremony. This is in remembrance of when American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon, killing 184 people. It is also tradition for military service members to display a large American flag on the side of the building.
In a moment of silence at 9:03 a.m., the moment Flight 175 struck the World Trade Center's South Tower on September 11, 2001. A total of 2,977 people were killed in the attacks. In addition to those killed on 9/11, many who worked at New York's Ground Zero died from the post-9/11 illnesses due to toxic pollutants released during the attacks. That includes 341 New York City Fire Department firefighters, paramedics, and civilian support staff.
The Flight 93 National Memorial honored the anniversary of the 9/11 attacks this morning. Some of the ceremonies included an afternoon wreath-laying, a service of remembrance, a reading of names that passed during the tragedy, and a moment of reflection. Those 40 passengers are honored for stopping the hijackers' plans and downing the aircraft in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Good afternoon, Kent State and Portage County. I'm your weather anchor, Nicholas Keller, with your Monday morning weather forecast. Currently in Kent, it's 76 degrees with a dew point of 56 degrees. Wind is going northwest at 3 miles per hour. Humidity is 43% with a visibility of 10 miles. Tomorrow it's going to be 69 degrees and rainy, overcast with rain showers at times with the wind speed at 8 miles per hour. Tonight it's going to be 67 at 8 p.m. and partly cloudy. Midnight it will be 60 degrees and cloudy, and 8 a.m. tomorrow morning will be 62 degrees with showers.
Kent leaders are thinking of proposing a charter amendment to voters to resolve political ward boundary issues. The goal is to keep the U.S. populations roughly equal based on new census data. This demands no more than a 10% population differential between wards. Since it needs to be done once a year, Kent leaders may decide to keep the original political ward map, and the first two maps proposed were rejected.
Governor Mike DeWine has announced today $2 million in funding towards programs to help those recovering from substance abuse. This funding is meant to help Ohioans in recovery re-enter the workforce. $500,000 went to Coleman Professional Services in Kent. The program has partnered with 3 health institutions, as well as Flying High, Belmont Technical College, Eastern Gateway Community College, and Youngstown State University for job training.
Ohio lawmakers are coming back to Columbus this week, and it looks like they have more to discuss other than drawing maps for the new in the House and Senate districts. Some things on the agenda include lowering property taxes, discussing changes for higher education, more police training, making Ohio housing affordable, and who is responsible to pay for mega projects that come to town.
And J.M. Smuckers came to a pretty sweet deal with Hostess Brands this afternoon. Smuckers purchased the snack brand famous for creating treats such as Twinkies, donuts, Ding Dongs, and more for $5.6 billion. This sale could help stabilize the Hostess brand, which filed for bankruptcy twice, once in 2004 and then again in 2009. Both companies voted unanimously in favor of the purchase.
First events of the semester. We'll share the fabulous details later.
And local artists were given a chance to show off their creativity in a local park over the weekend. TV2 will tell you all about this event and who the artists were next.
Well, over the weekend, Fred Fuller Park was host to Kent's annual
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
The Flash Activities Board held one of their first on-campus events today at noon on the K.
Our correspondent Skylar Edington went to the K and has the latest. Skylar?
That's right, the Totes and Floats event where students could get an ice cream float and decorate a tote bag ran out of supplies 45 minutes into the 2-hour event.
The Flash Activities Board is a programming board on campus who hosts free events for students. We have over 100 events per year, and we just host fun activities for the students to enjoy.
Kent State students lined up outside the library this morning, hoping to be early enough to snag a float and a tote before supplies ran out. Students had the option of root beer, orange Fanta, or cherry Pepsi as their flavor of float. Once students picked their float flavor, they then grabbed a bag and began decorating. Some students created designs of their own, while others looked for inspiration elsewhere.
We looked at Pinterest. That's where we got it from.
FAB's president even gave us a tutorial on how to make the perfect float.
Well, definitely 2 cups of the ice cream. You need 2 scoops of that. And then mug root beer from a can. The cans are always better. And then you just pour it right in. You're gonna have to let the foam go down and then re-pour. But that's pretty much the perfect float.
So I thought it was only right that I tested out the root beer float. Ten out of 10. Be sure to stay tuned for more of Kent State's Flash Activity Board events that will take place throughout the rest of the semester. Reporting from the Franklin Hall studio, I'm Skylar Edington with TV2 News.
Over the weekend, artists from across Kent showcased their art in local art.
Our reporter Joe Malbin was there, and he's going to tell us all about this event. Joe, what happened?
That's right, guys. Fred Fuller Park, an event to showcase local artists. Let's check that out right now. Well, over the weekend, Fred Fuller Park was host to Kent's annual Art in the Park Festival. The event drew a large crowd there to show support to local artists. The festival featured artists, local vendors, and live music. Performing bands and musicians included groups such as Crooked River Stompers, Bent Strings, Ronald Regis Trio, Ad Astra, the Akron Symphonic Winds, Roosevelt Choir, Found Sound Steel Band, the Vince Robinson Trio, and Brad Bolton and Peggy Coyle. There are plenty of artists and vendors on display, such as Young at Art, The Clay Engineer, and many others. I spoke with Tom Manuzak of The Clay Engineer about what he does and the importance of supporting local artists with events such as Art in the Park.
So this is The Clay Engineer, handmade pottery, porcelain clay. We work out of our house in Stowe. I was an engineer for 15 years, recently gave it up to do this full time.
And why do you think it's important to have events to highlight artists?
Sure. It's really the best way to get artists out there in front of people. Online is great, but face-to-face is really where you make the connections. People like to touch and hold your products. Without that, it's really hard to explain what your art is.
This year's Art in the Park event was a 2-day festival from Saturday and Sunday this past weekend. That's all I have for right now. Reporting for TV2, I'm Joe Malbin. Let's send it over to Nicholas for the weather.
Welcome back to today's weather forecast. In Sandusky, it's currently 77 degrees, Mansfield 76, Worcester 75, Cleveland 74, Ashtabula 73, Kent 73, Canton 77 degrees, Youngstown 77 degrees. Currently 77 in Akron, 78 in Steubenville, 82 in Athens, 81 degrees in Columbus, 78 in Lima, 83 degrees in Dayton, and 85 degrees in Cincinnati. Now for our 7-day weather forecast. Tuesday we have showers with a high of 69 degrees and a low of 54. Wednesday we have AM showers, 65 degrees with a low of 47. Thursday we have sunshine and clouds with a high of 66 and a low of 44. Friday we have sunny skies with 70 degrees and 46 for a low. Saturday it's going to be mostly sunny with 72 degrees with a low of 51. Sunday we have a high of 70 with a low of 53. And for Monday we have AM showers with a high of 66 and a low of 52. That's all for today. Thank you, Kent. I'll see you all next Monday.
The search for survivors continues in Morocco after the devastating earthquake that left more than 2,000 people dead. The quake struck late on Friday and was the strongest to hit the region around the ancient city of Marrakesh in a century. CNN's Nada Bashir reports.
Morocco in mourning, still grappling with the aftermath of Friday's devastating 6.8 magnitude earthquake. In Marrakesh, families line the streets at night, too afraid to sleep inside, as aftershocks still ripple through the country.
All our houses are cracked. They could fall down at any moment, and that's why we can't go back. All these people are afraid to come back home.
The city lies around 45 miles away from the epicenter, but even here in Marrakesh, the impact, the extent of the damage caused by Friday's earthquake is evident. You can see this building damaged behind me. Parts of the old city, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, have also sustained damage, but in other parts of the country, the devastation has been far more severe.
Along the foothills of the Atlas Mountains, a path of destruction stretching miles. Rescuers in a race against time, desperate to find survivors. The more they dig, the higher the death toll, adding to the more than 2,000 lives lost in what has become the deadliest quake to strike the country in decades. Pushing through the grief, many are queuing up here in Marrakesh to donate blood. It is an act of solidarity, and there has been an outpouring of support from the international community, with offers of aid from countries including the US, Japan, France, and the UAE. But the challenges ahead for Morocco are immense, and the recovery effort may well take years. Neda Bashir, CNN, in Marrakesh.
Search and rescue teams have now begun to reach more remote areas that were affected by the disaster. Moroccan officials claim disaster relief was delivered swiftly and effectively, but many citizens disagree as tensions rise. Foreign aid has been officially accepted from the UK, Qatar, Spain, and the United Emirates. The death toll has now risen to 2,862. Moroccan victims continue to try and recover as the immediate effects of the earthquake begin to subside. From Kent State's TV2 News, I'm Tyler Schlosser, signing off.
Well, thank you, Tyler. The manhunt for a convicted murderer who escaped from his prison entered its 12th day today. Authorities say that there is no indication that Danilo Cavalcante has crossed state lines.
Members of the community, including Cavalcante's former roommate, have joined police in their search. CNN's Brianna Smith has the latest.
As the manhunt for Danilo Cavalcante enters its 11th night, we're hearing from his former roommate, Franco.
I had no idea he could do something like this. He said he was someone super shy, really quiet. He would drink his beers on the weekend, make barbecue, and working a lot.
Franco says they lived together in King of Prussia for 4 months, and he showed us this video of Cavalcante moving out the day before he killed his ex-girlfriend in 2021. Cavalcante was sentenced to life in prison and was waiting to be transferred from Chester County Prison when he escaped on August 31st.
Right now I have anxiety because of this, and I was getting anxious again this week. I even told my friends I'm not sleeping well.
Franco says he provided information to police after the murder, and now he's trying to help them again in East Nantmeal Township.
And I was talking to the police for about an hour. I'm here to see if they need my help to speak Portuguese, if he's found and I can talk in Portuguese with him, so he can surrender.
Other residents also showed up to the new search area Sunday afternoon to assist police.
We're out looking for the fugitive,
while others worry about where he'll go next.
So he's out of the perimeter now, and he can go anywhere. He could just keep hopping in and out of different cars and moving on his way. So it's I guess from their standpoint, it's a little bit different tracking him now.
I just want him to be caught so I can sleep. I can go live my normal life. Everybody can feel safe again. And yeah, he has to pay for what he did.
Well, the Browns hosted the Bengals for their season opener at home over the weekend. Find out who came on top in the rain at Cleveland Browns Stadium after the break.
Heads up, you might catch a glimpse of the comet passing by in your area that you might not see again. We'll show you when and where you can see it in a flash. Coco Gauff, the 19-year-old tennis prodigy, captured the U.S. Open title after defeating Ariana Spedlenka in 3 sets. Celebration ensued as she is the youngest American woman to win since Serena Williams in 1999.
And President Joe Biden congratulated the athlete on X, the website formerly known as Twitter. The president called her victory, quote, proof that anything is possible if you never give up, and always believe.
Kent Theodore Roosevelt High School is celebrating a big win this weekend. The boys and girls cross-country teams took first place in the Streetsboro Rockets Invitational.
The Rough Riders coach Matt Pazderek said that wins like this have slowed down since Roosevelt moved from the Portage Trail Conference to the Suburban League, and that Saturday's win was made more special because of it.
Well, hello folks, my name is Patrick Sartor, and everyone can take a deep breath and relax. The leaves are changing, the air is crisp, and the NFL is back in action. But first, let's go to soccer. The Flash's women's soccer team picked up a nail-biting win against Duquesne's Best on Sunday by a score of 2-1. The win came on senior night, and the seniors were out to score. Amanda Winquist scored her first goal of her career on her senior night, as well as a goal from junior Sienna Stambolic. With the win, the Flashes do improve to 3-2-2 on the ledger. They'll trot out next against Ohio University on Thursday, the 21st, where they hope to pick up their 4th victory of the season. Kent State did well in the Gopher Invitational over the weekend, coming in second against an impressive grouping of teams. While it was Walker Isley of the University of North Carolina Wilmington who led the charge and took the trophy home, Kent State's team came out with a purpose and struck the ball well. Cade Breitenstein, the red-shirted senior hailing from Akron, came in 3rd for Kent, with additional performances from Jordan Gilkinson and Edvin Backstrom, both tying for 6th in the tournament. On to the ladies now. The ever-successful Kent women's golf team shoots to keep an unreal record alive. To say the women golfers of Kent have dominated over the past years is completely an understatement, as they now travel to New Mexico, where they are currently beginning their new campaign and strive to win 25 straight MAC championships, subtly competing to dominate the MAC for a quarter century. Incredible, coming off a season where 5 of their golfers finished in the top 7 at championships in April. They'll look to continue their dominance this year. And of course, folks, it's the Browns versus the Bengals. Joe Burrow there, people questioning his knee and his availability. It doesn't matter though, because it's Deshaun Watson opening up, first touchdown of the season. He gets it with his legs, plays the guitar with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just a couple blocks away. There, you see Watson again taking it, and this time he rolls out. This pass is actually going to be tipped, hence why it goes right into the defender's hands. He's going to take that up the field for a great defensive gain there. That time, as the weather was really playing factors all throughout this game. Here you see Joe Burrow stepping back now, rolls to his right to make a play, but it's Myles Garrett getting in there with the sack and propelling this Browns defense. I mean, you want to talk about a defensive win. The Browns brought it all, and they took him down, and Harrison Bryant there on the touchdown as well. It's a 24-3 statement win by the Browns and that illustrious, great-looking defense. Well, that's what we had for this weekend. Don't forget about Jets-Bills tonight. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen should be very good. For sports, I'm Pat Sartor. Back to you guys at the desk.
It's not a bird and it's not a plane. Something unique will be flying across the sky. We'll tell you all about how you can witness a nighttime spectacle in the skies above Portage County.
Look alive, Portage County, because you may have a chance to spot a comet in the sky. It's currently moving through the skies of the northern hemisphere, and its closest approach to Earth will be tomorrow, September 12th. Afterwards, it will make its journey towards the sun. Your best chance to take a glimpse would be about 90 minutes before sunrise. But the best sky charts to find it will be available at skyandtelescope.com or astronomy.com. Now, I don't know about you, but I haven't really seen a comet before, so I might try to catch a glimpse of that.
You see, I've not ever actually really seen a comet either, so this is a great opportunity. Flying really close towards Portage County, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen eclipses. I've seen little, planets and such, but I haven't seen this.
I've not seen a comet yet. No, this would be a good one to add to the old bucket list. But how about those Cleveland Browns? That game was just a delight to watch as a Browns fan.
It makes me very happy to see that, because we're Cleveland area, Browns guys all over. We got a few Pittsburgh people at the same time, but it was very nice to see the Browns take a W here as Browns fans myself.
It really was, even though it did kind of mess with my fantasy team a little bit, watching Joe Burrow not get as many points as I had hoped. It was still just everything I could have wanted from a home opener.
It kind of helped me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie, but it did help me out a little bit, and I I really needed that. I really needed that. Do you have anything going on for the week that you're excited about?
Oh, not much, but you know, it's going to be just another great week. So glad to see the NFL back in action. You know, it is really fun just keeping up every week, watching as the games go on and on and on. And I'm thankful, I'm hopeful. This year's the year. Browns taking the Super Bowl. Here's my official prediction.
You're going to predict that?
Oh,
live on
absolutely.
air?
I'll put money on that.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll keep that in the back of my brain later on in the end of this year. But we thank you all so much for watching. That is all the time we have for today.
Thank you so much for joining us. For updates on all these stories and more, visit our website at kentwired.com and follow us on social media on all platforms at Kent Wired.
I've been Dom O'Brien.
And I've been Noah Rowe.
Have a great night, Portage County.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University, streaming online at